Evan Carmichael is an author, speaker, and YouTuber who Gary Vee called a content DJ that inspires people. He went from making $300 per month and being a shy introvert to having over 300 million people watching his YouTube videos. So today, let's learn the number one thing you need to do to grow your life. Mentor me, Evan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number one. Take the shot.
You don't want to ask for help because you're afraid. You're afraid that one, they're going to say no, or two, that you are imposing on them. Either way, you're making a decision from a place of fear, doubt, and scarcity. It's time to step into your boldness. What would the most bold version of you do and make yourself proud? So I was on a call this week with David Bach, who is a super successful author. He's sold 7 million plus books. He's got a new book out called The Latte Factor. And I was on a call with him because I said, David, I want you to be on YouTube. We need your advice, your wisdom, your energy on YouTube because you've got a great message that, yes, you're delivering through books, but I want to see it in video format. I think it's a great opportunity to reach people. And because his audience is millennials, you need to be on YouTube. That's where they're hanging out. And he thanked me. I gave him a whole bunch of advice on how to get started, and he's going to Florence, and I gave him tips on what to talk about and how to film it and everything, that just pure love for me to help him. And then at the end, he said something that I was uncomfortable with. He said, hey, Evan, how can I help you? You've given me so much. You've helped me with my branding and what I'm trying to do with YouTube. How can I be of service to you? And I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't usually ask for help. I have a hard time asking for help. This is a problem not just for you guys watching, but for me too. I don't ask enough people for help. And so I said, well, racking my brain. I mean, the point of this call wasn't to try to get you to help me, but since you asked, I've got a new book that I'm working on. Right? I'm trying to release it in December or January. You've sold 7 million plus books. What advice do you have? And he gave me a whole bunch of fantastic advice. Step by step, his process to selling books. One of them that was particularly helpful was having a Facebook group as a launch team. So people who bought his book joined the launch team and helped spread the mission for him. And he said that contributed to a huge chunk of his early sales. And so right away, that night, I went and I created my launch team. So if anybody joins now and it's $50, you get the first copy of the book. You're going to get a pack of my Entrepreneur Heroes trading cards. You're going to get an autograph. You're going to get access to me in a weekly live stream on Facebook, just for me and the people who've pre-ordered the book. And I just implemented it. Right? We'll put the link up here, so if you want to join, you can go check it out. But we just implemented that because of David's advice, because of what he told me, because he said, hey, how can I help you? And so I need to do a better job of asking for help as well. I need to get over my fear of people either rejecting me or feeling that I'm imposing on them. And it's a goal of mine. It's something that I want to work towards, because if I look at the projects I'm doing, if I look at my new book, I'm pumped for it. I think it's going to help a lot of people. The people who've read it, part of my beta audience, they say it's the best book that I've written. And if I don't ask for help and I don't get it out there, I'm cheating myself and I'm cheating my audience. I'm cheating the world. I'm cheating you guys. And so I need to ask people for help. So this video, as much as it's for you, is for me too. I'm going to listen to my own advice and make it happen. So I've got a 3-step process that I'm going to use myself that I'd love for you to try on too, see if it works for you. Step number 1 is apply the Wayne Gretzky rule. Wayne Gretzky famously said, you miss 100% of the shots that you never take, right? If you don't take the shot, you're not going to get a goal. So even if it's not going to work out, even if you get a no, great, you get up and you ask again, because you're going to miss every shot if you don't take it. And this is for anybody who's afraid to ask. And I remember watching this fantastic clip from Oprah Winfrey, who she got hit up when she was successful, and she got hit up for donating to different charities and donating to different causes. And she always felt like she had to say yes to people. And there was one time when somebody then asked her for money, and she said no. She's like, I'm being stretched too thin. I can't commit to everything. And she said no. And the guy who asked her said, okay. And she said, okay, really? You don't hate me? Like, no, that's okay. On to the next. And so taking that same approach, you ask for help. Your intentions are good. You're not asking for the world. You're asking for a little bit of help, and then don't attach significant meaning to it if they say no or they don't deliver. Not everybody's going to be able to help you out, even if they have the ambition or the intention. Some people are really busy. I had a guy write to me today who wants my help in promoting something that he has coming up, and I just have too much on the go right now with my Thought Leadership Academy and then the YouTube course coming up and then the book to be able to do this new joint venture and commit myself fully to it. And so, okay, maybe something comes up in the future, maybe not. You have to ask and get over the fear that they're going to say no, because chances are they won't care that much. If it's a no, they still love you, they still want you to be successful, and that's okay. You miss every shot that you don't take, so take your shot. Step number 2 is don't take the yes away from somebody. And so this is for the people who are afraid to impose. You're afraid of imposing yourself on somebody, or now you feel indebted to them and that it's a big burden for them. The thing that I always remind myself of is maybe they want to help. You know, I love helping people. When I got on the call with David, he had a really tight window before he left for Florence, and I wanted to make it work. It's like, yes, let's make it work in this time window. I'm pumped to help him, just to serve, because I want to help, because I want to see his message get out there. There's a lot of people who want to help, and if you don't ask, you're taking the yes away from them. You're cheating them. You're being selfish. You think you're being selfless. You think it's selfish to ask. I think it's actually selfish not to ask. Because for some people, acts of service is the greatest thing of all time for them. I love being able to help David. If I didn't reach out, maybe he wouldn't have asked me, right? And then we would have missed that great opportunity together. And so by you not reaching out, by you feeling like you're imposing on them, recognize that you might actually be being extremely selfish. And you need to ask, because you're taking the yes away from them. And saying yes to some things and helping people out, for some people, is the greatest thing they love of all time. So don't take the yes away from them. Don't assume that it's a no. And then step number 3 is, what would the boldest version of you do? Try to remember that. It's what I try to remember for myself all the time. And yes, I've had success and built my channels to these sizes and sold businesses, but it's still nothing compared to what I'm capable of. And it's easy to wake up and just stay where you are, right? It's easy to wake up and just stay exactly where you are. I want to do more. I want to be bigger. I want to be bolder. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. You know, I need to remind myself of that consistently, and I don't do a good enough job of it, to be honest, on a daily basis. It's not every single day that I'm feeling unstoppable and massively bold. And so having that reminder for myself too is, what would the boldest version of you do? You're afraid to do this. You're afraid to ask this person. What would the boldest version of you do? And I ask myself that, and then I do it. So a quick example from my last tour, I was doing this tour, 23 cities, 90 days, and we're trying to figure out transportation, how we're going to go around. And I wrote to Grant Cardone, friend of the channel, done a lot of videos together, and I said, hey Grant, can I have your jet for 90 days to tour around? And I'll promote you, right? We'll do that as an exchange. And it costs a lot, just the jet, the fuel, the pilots, all that. It's a lot of money. And what would the boldest version of me do? So I would ask Grant. So I wrote to Grant. And he responded back, and to his credit said, what's the upside? That was his response, a quick short email, what is the upside? And instead of just saying no, which you probably should have, he just said, what's the upside? And I told him, hey, I'll talk about you in my audience and everybody will know your name. And it wasn't a big enough upside, so he said no, awesome. And we rented a Suburban and we drove across America. But you may not win all those battles. You may not get a yes every time, right? Since then, Grant and I have done a lot of different things together, more videos together, more content, promoting each other. That one no doesn't destroy the relationship. But being bold, being willing to ask the question, even if the most likely outcome is no, it's only the most likely outcome. And if you keep asking, just back to the Wayne Gretzky rule, somebody's going to say yes. So ask yourself, not just for this situation, but in general, what would the boldest version of you do? What would the version of you that would make yourself proud do? And then go do that.
Also, if you want to have more confidence and motivation, check out our 254 series. The link is in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life. Publishers do a little bit of work to help you. They try to line up a little bit of media and some of their contacts, but don't expect the publishers to do a lot. These days, it's really up to the author.
And rule number 2, the last one before our very special bonus clip, ask for help.
Not asking for help is selfish. You might think that trying to do everything yourself is selfless, that it's wrong to ask for help and noble to do everything yourself. But